The vote on hold as more Republicans say they can't support it. President Trump tries to rally his party at the White House.
If we don't get it done, it's just going to be something that we're not going to like.
But is one of Trump's biggest promises about to be dead?
Those devastating wildfires out west, torching thousands of acres, burning out cars, forcing an entire town to evacuate. Helicopters trying to douse the flames from the air. And overnight, Big Bang Theory star Johnny Galecki revealing his home was destroyed in the blaze.
Breaking overnight, trouble on the tracks. A deadly train crash on one of the busiest lines in America shuts down stations across the Northeast this morning. And new details about what caused this terrifying derailment, forcing passengers to evacuate, crawling through the tunnels to safety.
And good to be alive, a bus plowing right into this man as he walks down the street, knocking him to the ground, debris flying everywhere. And the miracle moment he gets up and walks away.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, America. You know, we say miracle moment a lot, but that one has to qualify. Simon Smith in Reading, the United Kingdom. Look at that, hit by the bus, gets up, dusts himself off, goes straight to the pub.
Of course he does.
Yeah, and no one there believed that he'd actually been hit until they saw the footage. We're going to have more on that coming up. But yesterday, big surprise in Washington. The Republicans' 7-year effort to repeal and replace Obamacare hit a major roadblock.
As we expected, voting on the bill is now delayed after Republicans could not get enough senators on board. At least 9 have said they oppose the plan in its current form. This after President Trump met with Republican senators at the White House. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is now planning to hold a vote after the July 4th recess on a revised version of the plan. Our congressional correspondent Mary Bruce tracking down senators on Capitol Hill and starts us off with the latest. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Robin. Well, the Senate Republican health care plan is now headed for a complete overhaul. For 7 years, Republicans have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but now they're facing a tough reality. They don't have the votes to even hold a vote.
With health care reform out of reach, the closer-in-chief tried to rally the Republican troops.
This will be great if we get it done, and if we don't get it done, it's just going to be something that we're not going to like, and that's okay.
The president huddled with more than 40 Senate Republicans at the White House.
We're getting very close.
This morning, Republican leaders are optimistic, too.
I think we've got a really good chance of getting there. It'll just take us a little bit longer.
But for now, the votes just aren't there.
What are you hoping to hear from the vice president tonight? Is there anything he can say to change your mind?
Good morning.
I'll take that as a no. No comment still? No comment. Do you think Republicans are going to get this done this week?
I don't have any comment right now.
Republican opposition grew after the budget office painted a grim picture of the bill, predicting 22 million more Americans could be uninsured over the next decade, 15 million more next year alone, and nearly $800 billion slashed from Medicaid. The vice president and top White House aides made an all-out push, but Republicans were unable to overcome the divisions within their own party. Moderates who say the bill repeals too much, and conservatives who say the bill doesn't repeal enough.
The bill would have to be fundamentally changed, and tinkering around the edges is not going to be sufficient to secure my vote.
Outside the Capitol, Democrats put a face to the bill, holding pictures of Americans they say will suffer under the GOP plan.
This is not just abstract numbers. These are real people.
Republicans will now work on a new version and try again after the 4th of July recess. But, Robin, this still faces a big uphill climb. And if Republicans aren't able to get this done, the president has said it might be time to let Obamacare crash and burn.
And, Mary, what could that mean to someone who is currently covered under the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah, Robin, there is a lot of uncertainty out there in the healthcare market, but both parties up here say they want to do something to address these issues. The big question is now that in order to do that, the two parties may have to actually work together.
Yeah, looks that way. Mary, thank you.
Let's get more on this now from our chief White House correspondent, John Carl, Republican pollster, ABC News contributor, Creston Soltis-Anderson. Thank you both for joining us. John, let me begin with you. John, the president's up and tweeting this morning, resisting this commentary analysis that says he's not the closer-in-chief here. But this whole effort has exposed the limits of his influence over those Republican senators.
Well, he says he is totally engaged and he has been making phone calls, and you saw virtually the entire Republican Senate conference coming down here to meet with him yesterday. But, George, there are limits to what he can do. The bottom line is that this president does not have deep relationships with Republican senators. He doesn't have much influence with them. In fact, the senator that he is perhaps closest to of all of them is Rand Paul, who you remember he ridiculed during the primaries and who right now looks like the Republican most steadfastly opposed to this bill.
He, along with Susan Collins, a more moderate from Maine on the other side. I want to bring that to Kristen Soltis Anderson. It really does seem very, very difficult for the president, Mitch McConnell, or anyone to find some path that satisfies both the conservatives and the moderates right now.
The balancing act is very challenging because any changes that you make to the bill that can bring along some of those more moderate members, folks like Susan Collins from Maine, folks like Dean Heller from Nevada, these are changes that are going to make the bill less appealing to someone like Rand Paul. So Mitch McConnell's got to find ways that he can bring folks from both sides to the table, but with the ability to only lose 2 members of his caucus in the vote, he doesn't have a lot of room to work with.
And doing all this, Kristen, when the public support for both the House bill and this Senate bill, there's a new poll out this morning showing it's just at 17%, tremendously unpopular.
The politics of this also make it very challenging. So it's not just that folks on either side, moderate or conservative, have policy problems with the bill, but they're worried about what this might do back home, especially those moderate members. Curiously, until yesterday, a pro-Trump super PAC was saying they would run ads going after Senator Heller from Nevada for him not supporting the bill. They've since pulled those ads because such ads would make it harder for these folks to get reelected. But the politics make it tough. Folks are worried about taking this vote and what it might mean for their reelection chances.
And John, the president got chided yesterday for that ad because it was run by a super PAC allied with him. It's hard to see how this gets better over the 4th of July recess.
Opposition could get, in fact, increased. But, George, there's one big factor working to the Republican leadership's advantage here. That is that every one of those Republican senators in that room have campaigned on repealing Obamacare. And the alternative, at the end of the day, if they cannot pass anything, is to leave Obamacare in place.
Right. This has been a 7-year promise. Okay, John, Carl, Kristen, thanks very much.
And, George, you move on now to those raging wildfires, nearly 24 tearing through the West this morning. And overnight, the Big Bang Theory star Johnny Galecki revealing his home among those lost in the blaze. Rob is in for Ginger and has the details. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Robin. Hot, dry, windy conditions persist out west. This fire near Prescott, Arizona, 18,000 acres burned. Just 1% contained. Hundreds evacuated here. One of several states dealing with large fires burning right now.
This morning, wildfires burning out west. 23 in total across 7 states. An army of firefighters battling a blaze north of Los Angeles in San Luis Obispo County. It's now spread to nearly 1,000 acres.
I saw the plume as I was driving home. I don't care about the house, I care about my belongings. I just want my animals to be safe. We could bring them in.
250 people ordered to evacuate. Helicopters dropping fire retardant. Cars burned out. One of the latest victims to lose his home, TV star Johnny Galecki from The Big Bang Theory, who thanked firefighters, saying, "I know you guys are fighting the good fight to keep us safe," and vowing to help rebuild his community. While in Arizona, an entire town evacuated yesterday as firefighters battle volatile and explosive conditions. As the largest fire out west, in Utah, now at 50,000 acres and growing. Over 1,000 firefighters on the lines there, and this morning, it's only 10% contained.
And that is a massive wildfire. We do have one in Florida, but the bulk of the action is out west. We're in the height of the wildfire season here, and gusty winds will continue. Although I think California may see winds die down a little bit, but the canyons will still be gusty. Red flag warnings now hosted for all of Utah and much of the Intermountain West here for winds gusting to 35 miles an hour, low humidity, and maybe some dry lightning. This jet energy, by the way, bringing a severe weather threat to the plains. More on that in just a few minutes.
We'll come back to you in a minute, but we're going to move on now to that massive global cyber attack. It has hit hospitals, banks, government agencies, and companies from Ukraine to Europe, parts of the U.S. as well. The hackers are seeking ransom to release crucial data, and our chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross here with a major new development. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, George. Right now, the attacks continue, but this morning, researchers say they may have discovered a kind of kill switch that could stop or at least slow its spread. Hospitals outside Pittsburgh in Beaver, Pennsylvania were among the targets, where doctors could not access patients' medical records.
She called me and said surgery was canceled because the computers were down.
Other targets in the U.S. include Merck Pharmaceutical in New Jersey. Even the company that makes Oreo cookies may have been hit, as well as the computers and phones at this Washington law firm, which warned its lawyers as they entered the lobby.
You can't read any emails, you can't read any files. Basically, your computer becomes a brick.
The attack first surfaced in Ukraine, shutting down everything from grocery stores to ATM machines, power grids, and airports. The thousands of targets all received this ominous message in English on their screens. Your files are no longer accessible. Nobody can recover your files without our decryption service. Send $300 worth of Bitcoin.
Sometimes if you pay, you get your data back. Sometimes they just take your money and move on.
The attack bears great similarities to a computer kidnap and ransom scheme last month that hit British hospitals particularly hard. But that attack, later linked to North Korea, was stopped when cybersecurity experts discovered a kind of kill switch. This morning, computer security experts in Russia and the U.S. say they are now trying to activate a new kill switch they discovered overnight, what some are calling a vaccine to protect individual computers.
So that's a systemic fix. What can all of us do to protect our own computers?
Well, Microsoft has put out a patch or a fix. This attacks vulnerabilities in the Windows operating system. So download any upgrades from Microsoft. Obviously, a lot of people have not done that.
Okay, Brian Ross, thanks very much.
All right, George, now to Chicago, where 3 police officers are facing conspiracy charges in the fatal shooting of Laquan McDonald, a 17-year-old who was killed by an officer, sparking massive protests. Dashcam video contradicts what police say happened that night. ABC's Alex Perez is there in Chicago and has more. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Robin. The special prosecutor handling this case alleges the officers involved knowingly lied to cover up for and protect the officer who shot Laquan McDonald. This morning, more fallout from that dashcam video that shows Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke shooting 17-year-old Laquan McDonald 16 times as the teen walked away while holding a knife. The video too disturbing to show in its entirety. A special prosecutor investigating the case now charging Van Dyke's police partner, former officer Joseph Walsh, Officer Thomas Gaffney, and former Detective David March, all with conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and official misconduct.
These defendants lied about what occurred during a police-involved shooting in order to prevent independent criminal investigators from learning the truth.
All 3 officers were there the night of the shooting in 2014. The indictment alleges they lied, falsely saying that McDonald was assaulting officers, forcing Van Dyke to shoot him. Van Dyke, who's awaiting trial on murder charges, has pleaded not guilty. The video, which was not released until a year after the shooting, sparked a national outrage and massive protests.
No justice, no peace.
And the 3 officers have not yet entered pleas. They're due in court July 10th. George?
Okay, Alex, thanks very much. We're going to turn now to new trouble on the tracks causing major problems for commuters in the Northeast. Amtrak service between Philadelphia and Washington was shut down in both directions early this morning because 2 workers were struck and killed near Washington's Union Station overnight. And we've just learned those workers were from the CSX Railroad. The crash is under investigation. Service is slowly being restored. And we have new information on what caused a subway train derailment here in New York on Tuesday. It set off a chaotic scene as smoke filled the tunnel. Dozens of people were injured trying to escape the tracks. And transit officials now blame the accident on human error. A preliminary investigation indicates that an extra piece of rail was not properly secured during track repairs.
And now to the trial of a former pharmaceutical CEO who caused a nationwide uproar when he hiked the price of a life-saving drug 5,000% and refused to apologize. Now he's on trial for fraud, but struggling to find impartial jurors. ABC's Lindsay Davis is following the case for us. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. That notoriety from the infamous price hike has left a stain that's now following him even into trial, even though those charges are unrelated. So far this week, it's been a laborious lesson in just how difficult it is to seat a jury when the subject of the trial has been described as the most hated man in America.
This morning, the taxing jury selection is entering its 3rd day for the trial of the so-called bad boy of pharmaceuticals, Martin Shkreli.
Martin, do you think you'll be able to get a fair trial?
Nearly 200 potential jurors have already been dismissed at the federal securities fraud trial after some of them told the judge they could not be impartial, even calling Shkreli the face of corporate greed and a snake. Shkreli rose to infamy after raising the price of an HIV and cancer drug from $13.50 to $750 per pill, a 5,000% increase. Shkreli defended himself when we interviewed him in 2015.
Not a greedy person. This is a very low demand drug. The price of the product was so low, no company could afford to continue making it. The fact that we need to make a profit is a much, much better outcome than the drug being discontinued.
When he faced Congress in a 2016 hearing over pharmaceutical pricing, he declined to answer questions.
Do you think you've done anything wrong? On the advice of counsel, I invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege.
Now he's facing unrelated charges for alleged securities fraud.
I don't really care about people hating me.
Federal prosecutors claim he essentially ran his two former companies, a hedge fund and a biotech firm, like a Ponzi scheme.
I'm innocent and I intend to prove it.
And once they're able to get the jury seated, opening statements could begin as early as today. The trial is expected to last 6 weeks. If convicted, Shkreli faces up to 20 years in prison. Robin.
All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. And we're going to bring in ABC News chief legal analyst Dan Abrams. How difficult is it going to be to seat this jury?
Not as difficult as his attorney would have you believe. Most people don't know who he is. I mean, the bottom line is his attorney's making it sound like anyone who walks into the courtroom, of course, knows who he is. A lot of people don't know who this guy is. The greater danger, I think, is that the people who do hate him not make comments in front of other prospective jurors, because then you have the risk of tainting the entire pool of people who are there. So that's the real challenge for the judge, which is containing the very passionate comments that certain people may make about him and making sure that it doesn't affect the rest of the jury pool.
Well, you know, his lawyers already called for a mistrial, citing all the attention and the coverage that he has received. The judge said, no, 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 no.
Yeah, and that ignores all of his own comments on social media. I mean, his own lawyer has said, don't believe everything he said on social media, because some of it is so unappealing and so unhelpful to him in the context of this case. The notion that it's the media that has been the problem, the fact that the media is reporting on the things he says and does, that's not the problem. The problem is the things he says and does.
But that's not what he's on trial for.
That's exactly right. He is not on trial for raising the prices. He is on trial for securities fraud, for wire fraud, effectively for defrauding his investors, a completely separate issue from the main reason so many people despise him.
But it's sometimes hard for people to separate
Exactly.
All right, Dan.
Okay, thank you, guys. We move on now to Rob. He's got a new severe weather outbreak developing from the plains to the Midwest.
Hey, George, and this is after what happened yesterday across parts of New England. This is Holden, Massachusetts. A lot of hail there, upstate New York, Maine, also some stormy winds. We had 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Custer County, Nebraska, and that energy now getting a little bit farther east from Omaha to Des Moines and Madison, Wisconsin, Chicago getting into it as well. Not just today, but tomorrow this front kind of drifts down to the south and hangs there, so 2 days of some severe weather. Your local forecast just 30 seconds away, but time now for your Stormy Cities, brought to you by CarMax.
Invigorating. You're probably wondering why I just carved a giant wooden tiger. Well, the answer is that a real one would maul me. I've crafted Dr. Whiskers here as a visual aid to show you that should you visit the lot, CarMax associates will not pounce like tigers, because people don't like that. Come here to buy a car, Dr. Whiskers won't pounce. Nobody will.
Sunshine and low humidity will make today just a stellar day. Make every effort to get out and try and enjoy yourself today. Temperatures will move from the 70s to the lower and mid 80s this afternoon. Maybe a few wispy clouds. Just a perfect day to get out. We'll see temperatures rise by the weekend. This 4th of July holiday is looking like it is going to be hot and humid, with the possibility of some isolated storms Monday and on the 4th itself, and more scattered storms coming up for the weekend. Heat continues next week.
Feeling like summer out there. Big holiday weekend coming up. We'll talk more about what's going on at the beaches. How's that sound?
Good. Sounds great, Rob. Thank you. Coming up, the families who say the Netflix show 13 Reasons Why triggered their teens to take their own lives. What parents should know as the show comes back for a second season.
And a new warning about a hidden danger at the swimming pool. Children rushed to the hospital because of chlorine. We're going to have the warning signs to look out for right here on GMA.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is on.
I'll jump out and guide you back. Easy, son. This is gonna blow your mind. Whoa, awesome. That is really cool.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling